Hi ho, I'm Tommaso from the Word Anvil Publishing, and we are playing the second session of Railway, the quick start scenario of Dead Air Seasons. Dead Air Seasons will be on crowdfunding at some point in the future. I don't want to tell exact dates because then they're always wrong. With me today, we have Phoenix Wrights interpreting May. Hello, Phoenix.
Hello.
Nasal Eternal as Nevin.
Hello.
And then we have Schnerfel, which has not put their nickname
I'm in
in the
character.
picture, but I remember it. And she will be Constantine.
Excuse me.
Hello. Okay, so it's been many months since we recorded the first part of this scenario. We had to go over it again, rewatch the video. I know more or less what happened. Who feels like doing a bit of a summary of the previous section? I can see everybody's very excited about this.
I mean, I can try.
You can try. Come on.
Yeah. So we're all part of a community called the Nemes Community, who's led by Nemes. We were dealing with a crisis because some of our people and some people from another community had been attacked while they were on a waterfall trip, and the little girl has been kidnapped over there, right?
Okay. Well, I think that we're doing a bit of an abridged version of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you're part
So
of the Nemes community, which is a nomad community, moves around. With you, there is another community from Trieste. 4 people from this other community has reached you. You've been in touch with them before. They're friends. They're friendly. Something happened like your community had established the tents and everything. Somewhere we are in the Eastern Peninsula. In the nearby waterfalls, the people that were there were attacked by some raiders of some kind, and you can pick up from here.
Yeah, so part of the group was attacked, and we went to help them out, and we found mostly bodies, some awakened, which are monsters, and a little kid called Kisha was missing. We came back to the group, and Nemes told us that Kisha was like key to the community because she helped keep the monsters at bay, so he wanted us to go retrieve her. And
it's not exactly like that. The power of Kisha is that she seems to be able to control a chimera that is hunting the community. This chimera, which is this kind of giant animal infected with the blight.
Was it hunting? I believe it was following the
It's really
community.
trailing the community, and sometimes it's even protecting it. But it can be dangerous because this chimera has been crashing in and stealing some of the animals. So Kisha somehow can keep her under control. And this wasn't explicit until this moment when Kisha was kidnapped. So that's her special skill, and that's why she's important for the community, because without her, you don't know if this chimera will. Well, first of all, she's your friend, and then there's also the problem that the chimera might come in at any time to wreak havoc in the Nemes community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then what else? Nevin?
Well, we got something to trade for her. I don't remember what it was. I believe we took some fuel or something to trade.
Yeah, it was
It
fuel.
didn't really matter because they didn't want it anyway.
Yeah, well, we don't know that yet, but we have like a jump forward in time, and we saw ourselves running away, being chased by the whole group of people with dogs and snipers, and we.
Okay, wait, because here, the reason why you're trying to barter with another community is because you're trying to follow the kidnapper with the train.
Oh yeah, that's right.
With the train that the guys from Trieste have reached your encampment with, but the train is broken. So you need to go to this other community, get this piece that is above that has been broken. It's not easy to build it again. So they have it. You go there. Something happens. We don't know exactly what yet. I don't think we established what.
No, it faded black.
No.
Yeah. And then you get chased in the woods at night with torrential rain, and there is some kind of avalanche of mud that sweeps you away downstream, pretty much. That's what happens, and I think we were more or less there. Even though when we started to play, this was the first scene, and then we played a flashback that brought you back to this specific moment. Okay, so I think we can begin from here. And your eyes open, and the first thing you see are the lights of a few candles that are illuminating the ceiling of what appears to be a hut. A moment later, the pain sets in. You have lost consciousness as you were dragged downstreams by the stream of hurt rock and trees that overwhelmed you. And the pain that you are feeling right now is the reward for still being alive. After the first moans, the door of the hut opens and a figure enters. Through the dim light, you can see that this person is holding a pot. There's this amazing scent of soup that is filling the air immediately, and his body is cloaked in these layers of fabric. Certainly, you can recognize that they're not of any kind of industrial manufacture. And behind him, you can see a little girl peeking out. When you see her, you immediately think of Kisha because they are more or less the same age. And while you see that, some memories of the kidnapped companion immediately come to your mind. May, do you remember what was the first time when you met Kisha and what happened?
The first time I met Keisha, was when I believe, repairing something for Nemes. I was helping Nemes with a personal project, and then this little girl came up to me, all curious and innocent, and that's when I met Keisha.
Okay. Constantine, do you have a memory about this?
My first memory of Keisha was doing a night watch because it's important to me to take care of my community, so I'm always volunteering to do like night watches, make sure that nothing gets in when everyone's asleep. And this little girl just comes up and starts staring at the tree line, and I think it's kind of strange. And I'm like, hey, I try to like call her away, and like she seems like she's sort of in a trance, and then she snaps out of it and seems terrified, and I assume it's because of my face and what had happened to it in the years since everything had happened. And I tried to explain, it's just scars, it's okay. And now that I'm looking at this new little girl and I'm remembering this, I'm realizing that maybe the fear she had nothing to do with me.
Okay. Bringing you back from your thoughts, the voice of the host urges the girl to offer you some soup. She places a cup on the table in front of you, and then she goes back and takes cover behind the cloaked man. All this happens more or less in silence. The only words that are spoken are about the soup. He sits down and starts staring at you and makes a sign in the direction of the soup. Please, eat. You're weak.
I rush on it. I just jump on the bowl.
I I look at Nevin first, see if there's any reaction, and then if I don't see that he's frothing in the mouth after a few seconds, I'm gonna take a tentative sip of the soup.
Well, it's very tasty. Initially, you are a bit skeptical. You're afraid that this could be poison. You don't know who this guy is. You cannot really trust anyone here. Maybe he wants to take advantage of you. You're in a weak condition, but then, well, you take the first sip, and then you're starting to think, okay, we got swept away from an ocean of mud and rocks, and still now we are in the hut of this guy. So probably, if he wants to kill us, it's not with a soup.
I,
And then you start to avidly eating the soup, and all of a sudden, a burst of energy comes back to your tired bodies. He puts a hand on his chest and says, "My name is Dimitri. You are in our community. This one is Christina, say hello." And then the little girl uh, moves her hand and uh, very timidly says, "Hi."
I smile at her and say hi.
favoring the arm that I hurt at the during the avalanche. I'm looking around, trying not to look too frantic about it, but I'm like, the valve. Where's the valve? Because all of this is pointless if the valve is lost.
Yeah, the guy sees what you're looking for with your eyes and points to a place near the bed and says, "Your thing is there. I haven't taken it. It must be very important if you went all through all that trouble."
Visible relief.
When he points that out, I am going to put my soup down and I'm going to actually try and reach for the thing because I need to check if this thing is still going to work.
Well, yeah, it's wrapped into whatever. I don't remember. Like, I think last time you were wrapping it into something, but
It was in a. I wrapped it in some sort of sling bag that was supposed to be strapped to
okay.
my body.
Well, you unwrap it, and it's a bit scratched, but it's not damaged beyond the repair, and you think that it is gonna work. Naze, I'm gonna ask you when May does that. Um, you were thinking about the whole situation that you just escaped. Why did it go so wrong? What happened?
Oh, um, well, you see, we came in with a full tank of fuel to trade for the valve, and at first they were pretty happy to make the trade, but at some point they wanted to celebrate, and I think Nevin got drunk because he's young and he doesn't know how to hold his alcohol, and he pretty much
Oh
set fire to
no.
the tank on
Oh
accident.
no.
So, they just ran away with the valve.
Okay. Okay. Well, then you look at each other's in the eye. Yeah, each other in the eyes, uh, remembering exactly. There is this kind of silent understanding of what happened back there.
I imagine Nevin has a few like minor burns here and there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's dirty and he's still wobbly because he has a concussion. So I'm not sure he fully remembers what happens, but he's like, I did something wrong there.
the man
Did
looks at you and says, "I hope you did it for a good reason, at least."
yeah, it's for something important, very important. And I
I
sneak a
see.
glance at the little girl.
Where are you? Where were you trying to go? I don't know if you know where you are.
Uh, I don't I don't know where.
Out of character, I don't remember the name of the location we were staying at.
Copper. No,
No,
we
it
weren't.
was Novaki Station.
Novaki Station.
Yeah,
So
Novaki Station.
I'm not going to give them necessarily that information, but I'll say, well, our group is nomadic. I don't know the name. It was a train station.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, if it's the one I'm thinking about, it's just a few hours from here. You're not very far, but it might take a while to get there. By the way, as I said, I'm Dimitri. Now that you see through the lights, the lights are very dim, but you can see that both him and Christina, the girl, they're very, very pale. They're very, very pale. They don't look very healthy. You can see some veins under their skin, and they don't look like they are awakened, but they don't look healthy. So when he says that he's a walker between worlds, you're not surprised. And then he adds, Christina is one as well. Now, I don't know, I think we discussed it the last time, but I want to repeat it. Walker between worlds, usually just called walkers, are those people that have reached a certain threshold of contagion from the spore, and they cannot go back anymore. So they're not 100% humans. They are in between. They are in this limbo that they will at some point to turn into awakened if they get
But not yet.
exposed. If they get exposed to more sources of contagion, but if they manage to keep it in check, then they can continue in this state for a long time. And when they are in this state, they have a bit of a different relationship with the blight. Um, so he says, well, this whole place is is just for me and Christina. We are both walkers. I was banished from my community because my camp was attacked by a relentless. You know that a relentless is one kind of awakened that can control other awakened. It's more intelligent than the basic your basic monster, let's say. So back then, I fought for a long time. I saved some of my comrades, but I was really badly injured, and I got this thing, and they decided that the wisest thing was to banish me from the village. So I had to say goodbye to my children and wife. But well, I along the road I found Christina. She she was attacked by her mother that turned into an awakened, and she was so badly injured that she also turned into a walker. And I found her inside her old house, and she was very afraid. Isn't that true, Christina? And then the girl is nodding.
Uh,
And well, she's a bit afraid of strangers, with all that happened. But we're trying to make peace with our past. Isn't that true? And then she nods again.
so I would like to ask a question. So in last session, I used kind of like a big damn hero thing to protect us as the avalanche was coming, and I took a injury to my arm.
Yeah.
And I know that we've been unconscious, but like I would like to know what the condition of my arm is at this time.
Well, it's just been few hours, but let me see. You just
I'm
had
more like
cut on
curious.
your
Have they
left
tried to
arm.
treat it in any way?
Yeah, you had a cut on your left arm. I think that we can take it away. The cut is already closed up, and there is this kind of dark red crust of blood on it, but it's not bleeding. And if you take good care of it, probably if you try not to get hit again on the arm,
And
it's gonna be
and
fine.
what
So
about
I think you can take away the wound.
what about my
That is what I
dislocated
was about to
shoulder?
ask. Um, So my question though was, does it look like they tried to treat it in any way, or does this just naturally seem like healing?
Well, it looks like he put some bandages there, so I think it's helping.
Okay. You can go now.
Your dislocated shoulder. I don't think he knew about it. Maybe there are some I don't know what's the word. The black stains that come when you get this bruises. Okay,
Bruce.
yeah, there's a big bruises there, but it could be from anything. So if you explicitly ask, maybe he could try to help. And I think Nevin had a concussion, and that probably with a bit of rest is kind of it's not serious anymore. So you can
Okay.
also remove it from the.
More so than the soup, the fact that they took care of my obvious injury, and like, is to me more of an indicator that they're friends to us, so that I'm going to extend a little bit of trust. I kind of sitting up, I kind of dig around a little bit in my pack, and I pull out like a leather strip, and I it's not super great, but it's prettier than most of the stuff that people could have, and I like indicate to the little girl, like, would offering it to her, this would look good in your hair, would you like this?
Yes, please. And the girl shows you her hand.
I gently place it in her palm and kind of ease over to start eating more soup.
That's cute, Constantine.
What do you say, Christina? Thank you, thank you. And then she starts looking at it.
I kind of turn to Dimitri and I'm like, hey, you don't happen to know how to set a dislocated shoulder, do you?
Well, I'm not a doctor, but I can try. Just tell me where it hurts, and we just pull in the other direction, and it should kind of do the trick.
I'm pretty sure Nevin knows that. Isn't he a doctor?
Yeah, aren't you a doctor?
He's a veterinarian, actually.
I'm a pet doctor.
Yeah.
So maybe
Okay.
with your instructions, you can actually try to do a better job.
Sure, we can try. I read about that
do,
once.
Do you want to lead this operation, Evan?
Yeah, sure. I'm the doctor. Yeah, the doctor is here. Well, yeah. So, I guess lie down. And do you have something to bite on, maybe?
Well, there are like pieces of wood. There's a dirty rag. There's the spoon that you've been using. It's a wooden spoon that you've been using for the soup.
I'm just gonna bite on the spoon.
Okay.
Okay.
I would say that this is a position check because it's funnier. So, okay, you think you know what you're doing, Nevin? So I would
Yeah,
say
because
it's,
I don't
sorry.
think you know what you're doing because you made me lie down.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
that is your
how many-
argument.
How many animals do you know that are not lying down where they're getting
That's
treatments?
true. That's true.
I think that this would be a mind position check with an opposition level of 4, and you have 3 in everything. So you start
Yeah.
from 3, and you can decide to which kind of outcome to aim to.
Well, I'll go for a standard outcome, and I think I'm just gonna roll dice.
Oh.
Sorry, you're going for a standard.
Yeah, standard outcome.
Okay,
So
so you
it's
need
2
to roll
dice.
2 dice.
It sounds so scary.
Okay,
good.
well,
I'm just
Okay.
casually watching
you
this.
hear a loud croak, but you feel a very acute pain, but after that, somehow your arm feels like it's in the right place.
By
So you-
instinct, I punch Nevin.
Ouch! Hey, that
I
was just like with the
unashamedly laugh
turtle.
at this.
That's half the pain I just felt. So
Okay, well, this Dimitri looks at you and say, "Okay, that went well than I expected." Anyway, so I guess you'd like to go back to what you were doing. Is that correct?
We need to get
Um,
back. Time is very important. A little
Just
girl's life is at risk.
side question:
yeah,
has anyone come looking for us?
Well, not yet, but they might be on your trail. And actually, it would be better if you wouldn't stay here too long. Like, we don't
Yeah,
want any trouble, of course.
yeah, I
yeah,
think that's a
we
good idea.
understand.
I think you might be a bit weak still, but if this thing is urgent, then maybe you should go. And I think I know the quickest way to. Is this station the Novaki station? And is asking.
Somewhere
Uh,
close there, yeah.
yeah, it's around there.
Okay. Is there a train now? A working train?
We're trying to make one.
We're
Okay.
trying to make one.
Interesting. Well, and good to know. Oh, but you said you're nomads, right? So that might not be for long. Anyway, just sit down and I'll bring a map and I'll show you how to get there in time. You lost already a few hours. I found you, I think it was maybe 6, 7 hours ago. And
Mm.
I had to clean you up a bit and put you to bed. Hopefully, this was helpful. I think you might prefer this to waking up
We
under a
appreciate it.
mountain of mud.
uh,
Okay,
I know.
so he gets out of the hut. You are left there with the girl, and then she comes next to you, Konstantin, and says, "Are you also like us? Have you also been banished from the village? Is it other people? Do other people want to talk with you? Because you're the first guest we have here in a long time."
I shake my head. I'm like, no, little one. We aren't banished, but we're not afraid of you. Um, we're
I am
trying to
I am
help.
not contagious. This is what Dimitri always says. We're not contagious. You cannot get this thing from us.
I know, and like I'm kind of uh my heart's breaking a little bit because I'm thinking of Keisha and I'm thinking about if Keisha was left alone in the woods somewhere, and like I'm kind of like looking uh past Christina's head at like Nevin and Mai, and I'm kind of like looking at her and looking at them pointedly, like, uh, we know you're not contagious. Perhaps there might be a.
I just cut Constantine off, and I go, well, it's time to go. No time to lose. Constantine, May, I think we have everything we need now.
I once again accidentally hit Nevin intentionally this
Ouch!
time. You're so insensitive.
It's not our priority, and it's not our prerogative to be the ones recruiting people into the community. It's just not what we do. We already have a crisis on our hands. It's not the moment to have more people looking for us and more issues. How do you think they would react if we brought someone in that they don't even know about?
I roll my eyes and smile at Christina and say, "Don't worry, not everyone is like him. But I'm sure you and Dimitri won't. Maybe one of these days we'll find you again."
Of
We
course.
are a little weak right now. Do you have a wagon? Maybe we could all ride. Like, it might help if Dimitri and you take us back to the Novaki station.
Okay, you're uttering this sentence when great noise from outside attracts all your attention. You start hearing the howling and barking of dogs,
I
and
instantly grab my sword and I'm out that door.
all of a sudden you know that your pursuer are still looking for you, and now they have found you. As you look through the window, so you see a great flame, and you hear the noise of a flamethrower very close to the hut, and then somebody shouting, "Dimitri, I know those vermins are hiding here. I've already spared this chest pit once, but if you don't deliver them to us immediately, I'll set this place on fire and I'll make sure you burn. Tell me where they are, and maybe you will escape with your lives."
As soon as I hear the flamethrower, I'm like, "Oh, that's why. Okay, that's what I did. I remember now. That's a nice toy. Okay, I guess we have to go now."
Okay. A moment later, you see Dimitri stumbling into the door. Is just running. He doesn't even care about hitting his face on the wood, and he's just entering the door, and he has a map in his hand, and it's kind of crumpled because probably he wanted to hand it to you, but now this thing happened. These guys might be very close. There's the noise of dogs, or the noise of barking. He stumbles and says, "They will kill everyone anyway. It looks like it's over for us, and truth be told, we're tired of fighting against a world that doesn't."
We can't protect you if you stay here.
Doesn't want us.
You can come with us. Yeah.
Don't wait any longer.
I
You can follow these directions, and then he points to the map, and then he points to a place in the hut that I haven't seen before.
No, what about you two?
I'm already at the door.
Don't worry, I will keep them. Like we cannot fight them.
What about her?
But I can get you some time. I can buy you some time.
I look at Constance. What about Christina?
Take the girl. She doesn't deserve to die here.
He takes the thing that you stole from the other community, gives it in your hands, like, go now before it's too late.
I want to take Christina with us.
You can.
I'm already gone.
Yeah, we know you're gone, dude.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
we know you're gone. We don't care about you.
Okay,
what
happens? Like, what happens exactly? Nevin, do you grab the valve with you?
I mean, May has it, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, now I think she put it down, and
she was looking at it and stuff.
I had it, but then it's probably just right beside me.
Yeah. Okay, who grabs the valve? That's what I want to know. I think that Dimitri had it in his hand, and he's handing it to you. Like, I hope this was really worth all the trouble.
We can, we can at least save her. I point at Christina. She can come with us.
I'm done arguing with this guy. I'm just gonna grab him by the wrist and grab her, and I'm gonna drag them with us to the thing he's trying to indicate we should go. I'm not arguing anymore. We're going.
Okay.
Okay.
I think
I grab the valve then.
He pushes Christina in the direction of the hut. Says, "Take her with you, but you will have to explain your community that you're taking a walker with you."
It's fine. It's fine. Constantine, go.
Constantine, are you trying to grab him as well?
I immediately pick up the little girl, and I'm cradling her with one arm. I've got my sword in the other, and I'm like glaring at Dimitri with my one eye. I'm like, "There's no time to argue. Just come with us."
If I come with you, they will know where we're going. I need to buy you some time. Go.
Then we go. I take Christina and run after Nevin's cowardly ass.
Okay.
I take up the rear because I had to put the valve back into a slot.
I would take the
last
time.
thing you see. Sorry, Nevin.
Sorry, I would take the time they are arguing to have a quick look around when I'm going out, and use my observer gift.
Because now you're down this trapdoor. You're not out in the open. There's some kind of
Oh,
underground.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's an
underground
underground. Never
passage.
mind then. That's
Okay.
all good.
Okay, so the last thing you see, Mabe, because you are in the rear, is that Dimitri just grabs some kind of gun that he has over the door, and he charges it and gets out of the door. And you start hearing some the noise of some guns shooting, and some voices and the barking of the dogs. But at this point, you're also down the trap door.
I'll close the trapdoor behind me and then
Okay.
run.
So down this hatch, it's cold and damp. Down there, this cramped space is forcing you to proceed on all fours for a long stretch of the tunnel that is dug into the rock, and then it rises in altitude until at some point finally it emerges into open air. Behind you, you can hear Christina panting and crying. Clearly, she knows what's happening to Dimitri. And as soon as you're outside, you can see from this vantage point that the shack where you were just a few minutes ago is lit by fire, and you can see a body in front of it, like engulfed in flames, that is screaming, and it like he has a rifle in his hand, which is the one that you saw Dimitri picking up May. So you know that Dimitri is basically burning
All right.
right now, just to buy you some time.
I'm covering Christina's eyes so she doesn't see this.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Okay, as you run away as fast as possible, you can hear the wind carrying the screams of Dimitri and the shouting of the other men, which are trying to figure out if you were there and where have you gone and in which direction. But probably they've been stupid enough to burn the only person that could actually give them real information.
The information, yeah.
Now, from a mechanical point of view, a little interval here. What happens is that Dimitri could have become your ally in the future if you helped him out escaping. Now
We tried.
he's dead,
Who
of
tried?
course. Christina, however, is with you, so somehow you managed to save half of that community. And in the future chapters, there might be some consequences for this choice, of course. As you go in the direction of your community, I want you to come up with an explanation of who's the girl with you, why the Nemes community should accept her, and if you're gonna tell that she's a walker.
I mean, isn't it pretty obvious just by looking at her that she's
Well,
a walker?
she looks sick. It's not obvious because they don't always look the same. So they might be very explicitly a walker or look almost normal, just a bit sickly with something.
So in
So
Katrina's case, she just looks sickly.
yeah, very pale. There are black
I'm
veins that show under her almost transparent skin, but that could also be some other kind of sickness. Like it's not just because there is the blight right now, all the other sicknesses have gone.
I mean,
I just feel strongly that because of we still took in Keisha despite her weird connection to everything, that our community is understanding of these kind of stuff, and I will put myself on the line and say that I will be her keeper. I will watch over her. If she turns, I will take care of her.
I'm not sure everyone is aware of Keisha. but I could always pretend that she has something else and give some other diagnosis so that she's not considered a walker.
So you're pretending with the community.
We're basically gonna
Okay,
lie.
what is going to be your story on where did you find this girl?
Her father saved our lives and died to protect
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, exactly.
And are you gonna tell at all that you've been saved by this Dimitri or not?
Yeah, I just said that he
No, we're
saved our
gonna talk about Christina's. We're gonna talk about Dimitri. Say that this is his daughter. We were saved by Dimitri, but he had to sacrifice himself. So we decided to take his daughter in.
Okay,
Maybe,
so are you
maybe,
telling Christina that she has to lie because she knows she's a walker?
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not pro the lying thing because it's gonna come out, and I think it's gonna be far worse for Christina and the community if they find out later. I think that I'm gonna be arguing with Maya and Nevin to just be honest and upfront, and that I will, I will be her guardian, and her, like, if she turns, I will take care of it.
Okay.
we can bring it up privately with Nemes.
The only thing, like, okay, you discuss this first between you, and then you talk with Christina. What do you tell to her?
I tell her that I will not let anything hurt her. That's all I care about right now.
She has just one question, and it's, but will they leave me alone, this community as well? Because Dimitri always said that other people don't want us; they are afraid of us.
I will not leave you alone.
We will make sure that no one bothers you.
Okay, then I'll do as you say. I hope you're right. And then as you make way towards the Novaki station, Konstantin, you see that she's looking for your hand to hold, uh, maybe looking for reassurance that she's not gonna be completely alone now. Now that Dimitri's gone, and maybe this new community doesn't want her.
When she tries to take my hand, I scoop her up in my arms and cradle her against my chest and keep walking.
Okay. We skip ahead. Next scene. Actually, no, this is more interesting because this hasn't happened the other times we played this. It was either saving those two or not saving them. Maybe we could roll to see how Nemes takes the news. Would you like to do it, Konstantin?
Well,
Is there?
I think that I have a very strong opinion on this, and if you let me just be the opinion, I'm going to just straight up talk to Nemes and tell him the flat truth. So, like, do you want to leave this up to just me?
Maybe we could go with you. No, what do you think,
I,
May?
will, I would like to assist with talking to Nemes in private. Because
Yeah,
if this comes to a negotiation, like, well, we are holding a very important part of the train
So when we
that
get
I
back,
am the only one who can install.
when we get back, we're going to seek out Nemes and ask to talk to him in private.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So, okay, well, a few people see you returning. Of course, they're happy. Immediately, they see that there is this little girl with you. Some questions. People start murmuring. You go straight to Nemes. He welcomes you in his. He has some kind of cart. Okay, so the discussion is like, okay, who's the girl?
Nemes, this is Christina. We found her after we had an unfortunate incident with people, and we were actually buried by a landslide, and her father rescued us. they how we asked to talk to you in private because Christina and her father are walkers.
We wouldn't be
Okay.
alive
And
today. We wouldn't be here right now if they didn't save our lives. And her father gave his life so that we could make it away when the pursuers came to attack us again.
Okay, he raises his eyebrows but doesn't say anything, and says, Nevin, would you mind taking the girl out? I need to discuss with these two in private.
I'm not going to let Nevin touch her.
mm-mm.
Touch there in which way?
I'm
not gonna.
I'm not a creep.
I'm not going to allow her to leave.
I'm not gonna get rid of her. She's in the community now. It's not up to me anymore.
If she's crying when we get out, Nevin, I'm gonna hit you again.
She won't. She won't. I'll take her out, and I'll take her to. There's a dog in the community, right? I don't
Yeah.
remember who has the dog.
I don't remember. I need to check what was his name.
Well, I'll take her to meet the dog.
I don't say a single word, but I'm giving Nevin a look of such dark glaring that I hope he understands that if any harm comes to her, he will not see the light of day.
Oh, we're so protective of this little girl.
I'm not. I'm trying to avoid your gaze. I'm just going away. Just mumbling, fucking fire thing. Shit.
Okay. When you're alone with Nemes, is like, what is your plan with this girl? She could be endangering the whole community.
Well, Keisha was also sort of endangering the community. We're always endangered. And she's just a little girl. Why would you leave a little girl to just be alone and die in the forest just because she has something she can't control?
Okay, I put my hand on Constantine's shoulder
I
to calm
growl.
him down. And what Constantine is trying to say, Nemes, is that we're not strangers to bringing in or taking in people that are not exactly fully human. You know this. You've taken in Keisha, and right
Okay,
now
so you're saying that you will be watching over her and be responsible for her.
Yeah.
I see.
I will take her in. I will watch over her. And if she turns, I will remove her.
How do you plan to be able to do all the other things that you need to do with a little girl?
The same
There's
way
two
parents
of
have
us,
been doing
and
for
she's
centuries.
Okay.
And there's two of us. If Constantine needs to go out and I'm here in the community, she can tag along with me.
Okay, then I want you now to roll, one of you two. You can roll under determination.
Determinate. Who has a higher determination?
Nemesis says, okay, then it's decided. In any case, he just says, okay, then it's decided. It's your responsibility. But I want to know, how much does he believe his own words?
Constantine, I think you have more determination than I do.
I'm not sure because here's how my sheet reads. It's body, reaction, mind, presence, determination, 5, 4, 2, 2, 2.
Oh, we both have 2 on determination.
That's
the last
funny.
value is
I
our
have 3.
determination.
But so I have a question for you, Tommaso, because I'm just wanting to understand a little bit of the rules. So I have a gift called At Any Cost. I can self-inflict a wound in order to turn a failure into an outcome. This has to be an official failure, right? It has to be like a dice failure.
Wait a second, because I don't remember all the gifts now just by heart. Is this
You
one of
don't
your
have
gifts?
your entire game memorized? Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, are you referring to one of your gifts or?
Yeah, his gift at
Okay,
all
at any
cost.
cost. At any cost. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I guess it's better for you to roll it
Okay.
since you have that.
Yeah. So I will do.
So you could basically, if you use this gift, you would have a wound, and in this case, it's some kind of psychological trauma.
Yeah, that I was
But
thinking of something.
you're sure that the nemesis somehow gives you the benefit of doubt in the worst possible case, right? But I would not use this before you have tried through normal means, because first you need to fail before it
Yeah,
makes
I
sense
just wanted to
use
make
it.
sure I understood the rules.
Yeah, it is like that. Yes.
Okay, and predictably, I did in fact fail.
Did you? I didn't see the. Okay, you did. Okay.
Yeah.
But how did you fail? I didn't tell you how hard was it.
Oh, you
said
haven't.
it
Yeah, you
failed
haven't.
because I rolled a 1. I don't know. It said I failed.
No,
Yeah,
it's
but
because he hasn't declared the difficulty you need to
I
roll
haven't
yet.
told you the
You
opposition
rolled
level.
before he said anything.
I
ro-
was
you-
just trying to do the correct thing.
Okay, so let's do it again. First,
Yeah.
I tell you the opposition level. I think this is a bit of a harder check because this could potentially be very dangerous for the community. But Nemes is not a heartless man. This is a little girl. You're bringing convincing arguments. So I think this would be 6 difficulty, 6 opposition level to convince him with a cost. Okay. So you're starting from 2. I think you need to roll at least 4 to convince him with a coast.
Okay. 4. Okay.
Or remember, you can use Soma to have this as automatic successes.
I'm gonna try rolling just because if I fail, then at least it's interesting. Okay, I just have to. And am I right? Rolling 2 die because it's a 2.
No, you need to reach at least 6, so you need to roll 4 at least.
Okay, so
you will get to outcome with a
okay.
cost. If you want a standard outcome, you actually need to roll 5, but 5 is a lot.
No, what I mean, like the number of die that I'm rolling. Am I rolling 1 die, 2 die, 3 die?
You need to roll at least 4.
Okay. Well, then that's what I'm doing, and
you
I
failed.
still failed.
Yeah.
Then that's when you use your gift.
So now, if we want to use your gift, you can inflict yourself a wound, and you can decide in which way you're going all out to convince Nemes that this is not a bad idea as it seems.
Just give me 1 second. I want to look over. Okay, so it's a reckless attack where I get hit in turn. And so I know I'm not exactly an eloquent guy. I am the sword guy. I do stabbings. I don't do talkings. And I can tell that I'm not doing a good job at this. So I kind of brace myself and I look at him and I go, if you do not feel comfortable with taking her in, then I will go. I will go with her. I will leave.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty convincing argument. And well, Nemes says, okay, she can stay with us, but she needs to be with you at all times. And if something happens that could potentially take her to the edge, you need to put an end to her life for your safety and for our safety.
If it comes to that, she would prefer to go out that way anyway.
Killed by you? Okay.
Well, killed before she hurts anybody.
Okay. All right. So it's done. Christina is part of the team now. She's just gonna hinder you in some way or the other, but that's what you wanted. So good for you. Uh,
We have an NPC now.
you have an NPC, exactly. Okay, we skip ahead a moment because at this point, you already fixed the train, and the engine is set in motion, and now you're already on your way to Copper. Uh, it took you more than one day to recover the valve and come back alive and discuss with Nemes, etc., repair the train. But now you are on your way towards the city where Kisha was taken. There's one carriage attached to the engine, and the carriage it's the one where you're sitting. It does need further repairs, but it's not a problem at the moment. It's just not in its best shape. And in addition to you, and at this point also Christina, because I think now you have her sticking to you all the time. There are also the characters from Trieste. So Celeste, Leonardo, Stanislao, and Caterina. The idea
Yeah.
is that they know how to operate the train, so they will take care mostly of operating the train. And the idea is that you also hopefully should be able to get to Copper by evening, perhaps in time to intercept the kidnappers. Okay.
Okay.
So the scene starts with the snorting of the engine as a background for the landscape that you see outside the windows, conquered by the fury of the blight, and you see it passing by very slowly. The train is not as fast as you expected, as you remembered trains to be, but the rails have been maintained for years, and also this is not a very recent train. From the tracks, you can observe the world from a somewhat new perspective. You haven't been on a train for a long time. You can see small villages that are passing you by, and that have almost completely been enclosed by this green mantle. The only thing that really is visible that indicated there's a village there are these bell towers that are emerging from the vegetation as somewhat witnesses to the last resistance of these places. I would like to ask to each one of you, what do you see? And describe a glimpse that you see and what kind of memories it brings back. Let's start with May.
Memories of what again?
You see outside the window these little villages that have been swallowed by the vegetation. What is it exactly that your eyes focus on, and does it bring back any memory?
I actually remember when Han and I were kids. My big brother. We used to live in a small village. Maybe something close to what I'm seeing right now. It reminds me of better days, like easier days when we were kids and there was no blight. When the world was still, right. It was happier days, and I can't help but look at Christina when I do that. Like I
Okay,
can't help but wish of like better days again.
Nevin, what do you see, and what are you thinking about?
I think Nevin thinks about the times when he went back from the city where he was studying to his parents, who were living in a small village like this one, and he always took the same train to go there, and he usually took always the same spot, and there was like a routine of things, and he was used to it, and he knew the rhythm of the train, and he's just deep in nostalgia about what the world was before.
Okay, Constantine.
I think about all those years that I spent in fields like the one next to that town, just outside a village, like playing at historical reenactment, like wishing that I was in a world like this, and thinking about how naive and stupid I was, because this is a world that isn't remotely the same as just playing in a field where you could then walk home and be back in the real world.
Okay. As you're all lost in thoughts, at some point the train slows down on the curve and gives you time to see an old square. You remember, all three of you have the same impression that you have stopped in a very similar place with your community. It might have even been this, but it's a bit weird because it's far from, like it's in a direction where you don't think you've been. But anyway, it looks like some other place where you've been together with the Nemes community, and you recall this evening fire, the laughter of your companions, and somehow this brings back also the presence of Keisha, maybe enhanced by the fact that now you have Christina with you, and she seems probably this is the first time she's on a train. She maybe wasn't even born when the blight exploded. So she's looking outside the window and seems very amazed by what she's seeing. You can't help but think of Keisha. May, some months ago, the Chimera attacked the camp, but it was retreating quickly. And now that you know that it was because of Keisha, what do you think happened exactly?
Sorry. I think it wasn't exactly attacking us. I think the Chimera, now that I think back on it, the Chimera wasn't exactly being aggressive. It if I compare it with the behavior of a dog, maybe Chimera looked curious. Like it's big, so of course it's naturally gonna be destructive when it comes into the camp. But when I think back on it, the Chimera didn't really attack anyone. It just looked like it was curious, and then when it saw Keisha, it went away.
Okay.
It didn't look violent to me.
Nevin, you remember that someone tried to hurt Keisha before. This is not the first time that this happens. And now, in retrospect, you're thinking, are these two episodes connected in any way or not? Um, what happened and when?
It was probably a few days only after I came into the community, and since I was still kind of a stranger, they didn't let me go anywhere alone, and we were gathering wood and supplies in the forest nearby, and I was paired with Keisha and her mother, and out of nowhere, some, I don't remember the name, Awakens? Yeah, Awakened.
Awakened? Yeah.
Yeah, like two Awakened came out of nowhere. They sent me there because they knew there was no danger because I have no experience. So those Awakened had nothing to do here. And as they were about to attack, I don't know what happened because I was looking forward and Keisha was behind me, but something happened because they just stood there for a second that gave us the time to run away.
Okay. Constantine, you remember, like we discussed it the other time. I don't know if out of game you remember, but Keisha didn't express herself normally. She made noises. She spoke in gibberish. It wasn't really a normal kid in many ways. So she has this different sensibility towards the outside world. But now you can see somehow that it was something more. How do you think she managed to transform it into her strength?
I think partially it's because she was so young that she didn't know she was supposed to be afraid of it yet. And she just accepted that that was part of who she was. She didn't know that it was weird or different or wrong. And so when she's speaking gibberish, I'm thinking back about some of the things that I heard her saying. And like, if I think that she's talking to the blight, if I think of her talking, like when I can put that context, it makes sense that she kind of almost was, she might be hearing what the blight is saying, what the chimera is thinking, and just having a conversation with it like she would be us, only it's a louder voice in her head.
Okay. There's a loud bang. The carriage door opens, and the noise of the engine grows louder. And of course, it draws your attention. Stanislao, which is one of the four guys from Trieste, has his face covered with soot. He enters the carriage. First thing he does is he pours himself a glass of water from a thermos that is there somewhere in the cabin. Then he drinks it all, takes another couple of seconds to look at you, and then he says, I have bad news and very bad news. What do you want to hear first?
The very bad news.
Meanwhile, in the background, you can hear the clanking of the railway. Ka-tunk, 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 like the train feels very mechanical in a way. All right, so the bad news is that if we want to get to Koper, we will have to go through the forest that surrounds the city. And this involves some risks, of course, because a big chunk of that forest is a crimson zone. And you know that the crimson zones are plant areas that have been taken over by the blight, and their color is not green like most of the vegetation. Is red. The concentration of spores is very high there, and inside that there can be all kind of byproducts of the blight, which might include some creatures and also some special kind of fungi. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Fungi.
Fungi. Okay. So it says, okay, we might have to expose ourselves to the Crimson Zone as we go through with the train, and of course we might run into very dangerous awakened. Fortunately, there are no other routes that will get you there in time. Then he also looks at the little kid. It's like maybe she could at least stay here on the train with us. But if we don't want to take this risk, we will have to get off the train and find some respirators. The bad news, the just bad news, is that we will have any way to make a stop to the nearest city of a few minutes, because we need to fill the water tanks of the train, and if we don't do that, it's going to break down in the worst possible moment. So I think you have two options here on the table. The first one is that you help us fill the tank as fast as possible so we can start the train again and head towards Koper, but then we will be exposed when we are in the Crimson Zone. Or while we fill the tanks, you get down and try to find the respirators. And I think I might know where where they have some. I think the next town has a fire station, so I think we might find some there. What do you want to do? We don't have much time. It's coming up very soon.
I think that it would be better to get the respirators. I would love to help with the water, but like I'm trying to think in long terms, more likely for us to get back and actually survive.
Okay. What about the other two? Like, is this what you're saying to me or to Stanislaw?
That's me saying it out loud to them.
Okay.
What do you think? I'm fine either way.
I would say respirators as well.
Okay, we'll go respirators.
Okay. Then we will be alone. We will kind of split. Two of us will try to guard the train. Three, if we count Christina, and two of us will go and make sure that we can fill the tank fast enough. But you need to be as fast as possible with these respirators, because parking the train for too long will definitely attract attention, and
So-
we will all be in danger.
I understand that Christina is a little girl, just like Keisha, but I don't remember what age that is. Is it like 12? Is it 5?
No, I don't remember either, but I think she's really young. She must be like, I don't know, 8 or 9.
8 or 9? Okay, now, genuine question. Could an 8 or 9-year-old child in any way assist with this water thing that they're doing?
Probably not, but she can spot dangers, that kind of thing.
Okay, so like while we're all getting ready, I'm gonna take Christina aside and I'm gonna give her one of my daggers, and I'm gonna say, like, I need you to do a very important task. I want you to watch and help call out if anything is coming when while the other people are filling up the water. That's going to be how you help. Do you think you can do this?
Yeah, I can try, but I never used these.
This is just, if anything gets too close to you and it's not human, you stick them with it. The pointy
Okay, I
end
will.
goes to the other one.
I will do that. I will, and she's clenching her fists, so you can see that she's trying to pump herself up with.
But don't try to put yourself in danger. You stay behind. This is just in case it gets past them. Then I want to know you have some safety. Don't run off.
Okay, I will do that, Konstantin. I'll help. I'll help. Okay, the town is coming up. The plan is decided, and I suggest we actually make a small break here, because the next scene is gonna be the last scene of this scenario. It's very long, but I think it's good that we have a little break before the last scene. Very well. You know that the train has reached town the moment you begin to feel it slowing down. Looking outside, you see houses that have largely collapsed due to the erosion from elements and the merciless creeping fingers of the climbing vegetation around it. However, you can still see several buildings standing. Stanislaw, as you are slowing down from outside the window, he points somewhere and he's showing you an antenna, which is clearly visible from where you are. Even if it seems far away, perhaps almost on the other side of the city. That's the antenna of the fire station there. If you're lucky, you should find what we need to survive the Crimson Zone. We will try to give you the time you need to find the station and get back, but you need to hurry up. As soon as we're done refueling, we'll start moving, so you will have to jump on the moving train. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I guess so, yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's anything we can do to get more ready.
Okay. So you say goodbye to Christina, and jump off the slowly moving train. As you do so, well, when you land, you all stumble. It's not easy to jump from a moving train. You find yourself in some kind of suburb. Uh, it's even hard to recognize because there's so much vegetation growing over stuff that some part of it, without looking very closely, could look like a forest. But then, bit by bit, you start going in the direction of the antenna. You can see street lamps that are wrapped with vines, grass covered streets with abandoned cars on them. Many other cars and pretty much anything else really has been stripped of anything of value or that could be repurposed for other things. Um, as you walk, you can see even flock of birds, small groups of animals like boars, just hanging around like this was, in fact, a forest. As you get a bit closer to the direction of the antenna, you start to see also some slow group of wanderers that are moving around through the streets with their classic um step.
Campbell.
Yeah,
Exactly, shambling around. They haven't noticed you, and you can see that they are trying to stay in the sun. For some reason, you know that they like the sun. Mm,
I'm gonna
so,
try to. Oh, sorry.
yeah, say it again.
I was gonna say I'm gonna try to avoid catching their attention. Just to like, it takes too much time to kill things. If we can just sneak past them, it might be faster.
Okay, I think that the situation is there's this huge. It used to be probably double road. Now even the guardrail in between has been ripped away. Um, it's now it's completely covered in grass. Some of the grass is actually quite tall. Um, you can see that in some areas the military at the time deployed some kind of obstacles, but now everything looks abandoned. The cars, as I mentioned, are completely rusted. Many of them don't even have doors anymore, and in some of them, clearly, there's been some animal nesting. The wanderers in here, they kind of shamble around from one side of the street to the other, and around you there are buildings facing the road. Most of them are shut down with wooden planks and iron. Help me out here, like
Like
this
rebar.
thing. Sorry.
Is it rebar?
Barbed wires.
No, perhaps those things that you use in shops to close them for the night to
Oh,
avoid
curtains.
shutters.
shutters. Okay. Um, what do you do to avoid this small group of wanderers?
You said they're sticking to the patches.
Yeah,
And
they're trying to go for the sun patches. Yes, but
and like
there are clouds, so sometimes when the clouds come over the sun, they move it slowly.
exactly how like cognizant are they of movement? Like if a boar walks by, do they suddenly jerk their head and look at it, or they kind of seem like they're like in their own little world?
Well, it's not that there are tons of boars going around them. Actually, it seems that the animals are keeping some distance.
I'm just trying to figure out how alert they are.
Well, you know that they react to humans for sure.
So
With animals, it's a bit more unclear.
I kind of whisper back to the other two, like, perhaps we can get around them if we stick to the shadows and move slowly.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah, that should work.
Okay, take a look at your character sheets. Does any of you have something that could be useful in this?
I have a gift called Handyman, which says once per session I can create a descriptor representing one of the many things I've learned halfway. So then I get like additional advantage die when I use it. I'm gonna say I was a champion at hide and seek before.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Could we also potentially make something to distract them, like, and like catch their attention to go the other direction?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Maybe that's also a good time to use the observer thing. I can ask the Blight Master a question about the current situation, which represents something important that no one has noticed but me. Is there like a way around them that we haven't seen until now? Something very abstracted, maybe?
Let me think. I think what you see is that there is an ambulance. Actually, no, there's no ambulance. There's a car in good conditions there, and you know that model of car has installed by default a very loud alarm, and if you hit it hard enough, it will turn on. Even if it's even after all this time, because those alarms require very little energy, and that car looks like it has been used recently.
Okay, so I turn to my friends and I say, "Oh, we had this game when we were studying in veterinary school because we couldn't stand the doctors, like the medical doctors, so we would just throw rocks at the ambulances when we saw them. And if you throw a rock hard enough on it, it's gonna set it off. So that could be useful."
Okay.
It's a car now. It's not an ambulance anymore, but sure.
It's fine.
It's still, it works. It's still a vehicle.
Yeah, true.
So,
Okay,
try
so
it.
mechanically speaking, this information gives you 2 advantage dice for the first action you take using the information you have
yeah, I'm
received.
gonna try to throw the rock really
So
hard.
in this case, it would be like hitting the car. So you
Yeah.
you grab a brick from nearby decrepit house
Mhm.
and try to throw it at the car. I would say this is, well, you're far, but it's, I mean, the car is not moving or anything, and I would say this could be let me think, a reaction perhaps.
That doesn't change much for me, you know.
Yeah, because all yours are the same. Okay, so yeah, reaction check, and
What's
I will give you, yeah, maybe a five opposition level, but you already have 2 advantage dice.
Yeah, So I'll just roll those 2 dice
Okay.
and see what happens. So that's gonna take me to 5, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Well, your brake hits the car in a perfect spot and immediately starts. The alarm starts. However, the cost in this case is that you can hear the car is actually dying. So it's been there for a while, more than you thought in the beginning. So you have maybe just a few seconds. The moment that the alarm starts, the wanderers that are in the sun, they turn towards the car, and you see some of them move away from the sun patches and start to move in the direction of the car. So you have like a few seconds to go through this opening, and I think all of you will need to do a check for that, unless you have some special descriptor that will allow you to do that. Well, perhaps May could do it for free. I'm always full of energy and I move like the wind. I think this
Yeah,
would be easy for you.
that's that. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah. The other two, I don't know if you have something that I can.
I mean, I'm really good at hide and seek, so
You're very good at hide and seek, and you have because when you use that,
I have 1
um,
advantage die.
you have one advantage die, and I think again it would be a reaction check.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 4 because the wanderers are distracted.
Okay,
Oh,
so I'll
the
spend
other two guys are like still trying to see how they're gonna sneak in, and then they suddenly look around and May is gone.
That's not a good thing to do to us because then we're gonna think you're dead, dude.
I'm
You
just
see me waving. You see me waving from across the crowd of.
Okay, better.
I'm gonna spend 1 soma, and I'm gonna throw the advantage die. So that's either
Okay.
standard if I don't fail, and it's a consequence if I fail. Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to do it with like you have an outcome, standard outcome. So you execute perfectly the action in the few seconds you have, and you pass behind them. They don't turn. They don't notice you at all. Constantine.
I sigh heavily because I know that my athleticness does not lend itself to stealth.
Well, actually, you have a reaction of 4, so you would already have an outcome with a coast without even rolling anything. But you can have it standard if you roll 1 die or spend 1 soma, for example.
But
Yeah.
I'm gonna try just rolling 1 die.
Okay.
And that's everything I've rolled has failed so far. Oh, thank God.
Hey,
You
Yay!
managed.
Yay! Yay! Yay!
Okay. All of you sneak behind wanderers without consequences. Well, that's good because they were quite a lot, and you know that the more noise you make, the more you can attract. Uh, However, after another bit without particular threats, you find yourself close to this fire station. It's half collapsed under the weight of a massive tree that fell after probably a recent storm. And in the breach of created by the tree, you can see that there are many other plants that have made their way inside the building, further compromising the integrity of the structure. Everything looks brittle, and a few parts look rotten, probably because of the rain that came through the roof. Um, do you have any specific approach here? You can hear some, actually, I can tell you this. You can hear some faint lament from inside, like.
Awesome. There's gonna be something we
Oh,
have to kill in there.
that's not ominous at all.
it's not. It's It's for you, Constantine.
I just nod and I've got my sword in my hand. Just looking at it, am I able to see the best way to get in that causes the least amount of noise?
Well, probably walking over the trunk of this big tree that fell and climbing on some of the vines, etc., would allow you to skip some parts that look actually more dangerous, like it might be rotten floors or some metal seams that have been broken by vegetation and time.
Okay, well, I'm gonna nudge Mai and Nevin and point at the trunk and sheath my sword and start trying to climb that.
Okay. I think you are athletic enough to go on the trunk without doing any specific check in this case. When you get inside the building, you are now in the ground floor. You can see that there is a floor underneath that has been partially collapsing on itself. The things you notice, the thing you notice under the rubble is that you can see two of these wanderers that are trapped under a big chunk of rock, and they're still alive. And when you pass nearby, they are extending their hand in your general direction.
Is it possible to put them out of their misery? I don't know if I can get that close. I'm asking.
Well, the only way you really have now would be to chop them off, but you know that even when you do that, they could turn into this micelia, this kind of they could become this kind of fungus that expands, and so that is not really useful probably to go nearby and
Okay.
kill them because they might become more dangerous
Okay.
after that.
Mm-hmm.
Lesson learned.
One thing, yeah.
Once I get it safely inside, I'm going to give a soft whistle to indicate that it's safe for them to come in.
Okay. Once we have that, yeah, I'm gonna come in. I don't know about Nevin.
Yeah, I'm following.
One thing that you find bizarre is that you can see through two or even three walls, big openings, like something pierced through them with an immense force. It could have been a truck or something like that. And at the same time, you see that on the same trajectory of these holes through the walls, there is the body of what is left of the body of at least you can guess it from the uniform because the body is really kind of pressed on the ground like it was a spread. Of you recognize the same kind of uniform that you saw on the guy that was being eaten alive at the top of the waterfall. So you feel that this might belong to the same group that has kidnapped Keisha.
Anything salvageable there?
Sorry?
Is there anything salvageable? I mean, I know he got smushed, but maybe he had something worth taking.
Perhaps there's let's say that he had some handgun and it's half depleted, but there's still bullets inside.
Okay, I'm gonna loot that and hand it over to Nevin.
Oh, great! A new toy. Wait, so how do I use that?
Do not make sure that it's not pointing at us. It's pointing at the thing you want to shoot, and then you press that little trigger of it. Don't press it yet. You see that little trigger over there? You're gonna press that. Not yet.
Yeah.
When you have something you're gonna shoot. Okay?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll try that. Yeah.
Do not point that at us.
I'm turning it around, trying to understand where the point thing is, and I
Um,
just put it back in my pocket.
All right. So, well, you're here for the respirators, and
Yeah.
you look around for a bit. Um, Clearly, they are not on this floor, but then through one hole in the floor, you can see that there is this kind of underground part of the station, and the ceiling has been is broken there, and you can see these changing rooms through the floor, and there are these metal closets, and one of them is open. Inside you see these kind of gas masks, and you assume that there might be more down there. Of course, you would need to go downstairs and somehow to reach that lower floor.
is how big is the hole on the ground?
It's fairly big. I mean, I don't know which measurement unit I should use now. A couple of meters diameter
It's
is
fine.
probably.
Meters is fine.
Yeah.
I have a flashlight with me, so I'm gonna shine the flashlight in there. Maybe hang. I'm gonna look at before I do that. I'm gonna look at Constantine. Hey, hold the back of my shirt, please. And then I'm gonna hang half of my body through the hole and shine my flashlight around. Is there anything else? Is there
Well,
anything in there?
what one thing you see when you shine the flashlight is this kind of shimmering, and you have the feeling that there's spore in the air down there.
Oh, there's spore. Hey, pull me up, Constantine.
I do so.
So it seems like there's spore under there. Do we want to? Do you want to risk it, or do you want us to like? Do you want me to jerry rig some sort of fishing mechanism so we can at least get one of those things that's in that open locker?
I'm all for the no touching the sports. I think that's the best.
Yeah, I'm also not a little bit not fond of touching those spores. Do we know that the spores, does it have to be physical contact or airborne?
Well, you need to inhale it to for the contagion, and it will stay on your clothes. So you will have to get rid of your clothes or change clothes or somehow clean them. But well, it depends what you have at your disposal, of course.
Seems like it might be easier if I just how if, if I just try and make something that would we can at least fish one respirate go one mask out, and then whoever gets that one can go in.
So wait, the masks are not covered in spores?
Well, it's the spores are floating in the air. There is this open cabinet that has one mask exposed, but you assume there might be more masks inside the closed closets.
So I wouldn't go for the one that's exposed. I would advise not to get that one. Maybe try to get the other ones.
I mean, like you can try to wash it somehow, but I mean, you're gonna be on a train towards a forest. I mean, it's not gonna be easy.
If we
Yeah.
get that one, then we can like clean out the inside, then use that to go down and get the rest.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah, we can. That's I mean, that's why I was gonna fish that exposed mask out, because when we get that one out, we can at least clean that, and then one of us will be able to safely go down there and get the rest of them.
Keep in mind that time is passing as you discuss these plans, and you know that the guys are, if they're not done, they will be waiting for you.
Okay, so I guess we need to get the masks, whatever. So, what can you do, May? Can you grab one?
I would like to look around. Is there any materials that I can use as a makeshift, like one of those very large, very long fishing hooks?
I mean, it's a fire station. I think they might have some kind of equipment for climbing, or they have stairs. They have, this kind of metal ladders. Sorry, not stairs. Metal ladders. They might have some of this.
Hmm.
They have like this water hoses that could look like a rope. You could use as a rope.
I want to have the maximum amount of control on how we're gonna get it. So I
Maybe
want to
they have.
make.
Maybe, I mean, you could try to look for some kind of a telescopic. Something they used to save cats.
Yeah, so like a sort of hook. Even a very long, what do you call that? A net with a handle would work.
Okay, so here a little interlude. The final game for this specific situation and others has some kind of mechanics here to scout what's usable in the environment around you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's quite structured because most of the things you find around, they're not usable anymore. They're broken, they are destroyed. You won't be able to use them in any situation. So it's not that you just go around and ask me, do I find this, do I find that?
I'm more of like I'm looking for materials, so
Yeah.
I'll be the one to make them.
Yeah, I just wanted to say there's a mechanic for that in the final game.
Yeah.
We don't have it in the quick start because it's a bit more
Oh,
advanced.
okay.
And the group in this case would divide itself between the people that are searching for stuff and the people that are doing the watch to avoid that there could be threats looming. And the more time you spend looking for useful stuff, the more is likely that something bad will happen. Okay, so this is the
Mm-hmm.
kind of mechanic we have. But in this case, because we don't have it in the quick start, and this is the quick start scenario, you're looking for raw materials like what? What are we talking about?
Metal rods and a hook.
I think you find the metal rods. You don't find a hook because they don't have any use for a hook. But you find some metal rods that were used in some kind of renovation. Probably they have on the first floor. They have some leftovers from you assume some
Mm-hmm.
older renovation.
Okay.
You can still try to fish the mask just with a rod. Somebody probably has to hold you.
I can do that.
Yeah, I'll um, what
I'm
am I
just here to be muscle man.
You're a muscle man. Don't have any equipment with us, but I do know I have a flashlight. And I have a flashlight and my tools.
Nevin, from underground,
Hmm?
you start to hear. You have the feeling of this low rumble from underground.
Is that something we've already experienced before?
No,
Is someone hungry?
No,
There's
we're not
there's a,
hungry. I'm talking while I'm trying to rig together a long enough pole so that I can reach, even if
there's
Constantine has to hold me.
there's like a weird vibration here. Can't you guys feel that?
It's rhythmical. It goes up and down, and the more you, well, in the beginning they don't hear it, but then
It's
when
like
you make them notice, they hear it as well. It sounds like an animal sleeping, big animal.
maybe a bear.
Oh, so we have to be quiet now.
You have to be quiet
Yeah,
for
I would say be quiet. Don't wake the bear.
I would say that too. Okay, I'm gonna take. It's not hard for me to find metal scraps, right?
You probably have a bunch in your
Mm,
bag.
you can
Yeah, I
find it.
probably do have some metal scraps. I'm gonna take the scraps and maybe I don't know how it survived, but probably some form of adhesive or duct tape or rope. And I'm gonna tie a makeshift. I'm gonna make a very crude sort of like a hook or just something for the straps of the for the straps of the mask to get snagged on,
Yeah,
so
okay.
that
I think
when they
you
attack
managed to
the
put something together because, well, they have this gorilla tape, which is still fairly in good condition, and um, you create some kind of makeshift hook. Is not really what you need, but you can make it work.
yeah. So with that, uh, with my long hook like contraption done, I'm gonna look at Constantine and I'll say, okay, can you hold me down again? And I'm gonna see if I can hook that mask.
Okay, yeah, you need to stretch a bit to get to the mask. The road is not long enough, but if somebody holds you over the hole, basically you will be able to reach it.
Please don't drop
Um,
me.
I think we need the two checks here. One
Oh
from
no.
whoever is holding you, which is it Constantine?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then one from you to be able to pick up the mask and not to drop it. So Constantine is clearly a body check, and in this case, well, May is small, but is still quite heavy. I would say it's a position check. Sorry, a position level 5.
My
Eh,
body is 5.
Yeah, so that would be
Awesome.
an outcome with a coast. So if you don't want any coast, then
You're gonna
you.
drop me.
And for May, what would be the best attribute for some precision
My
fishing?
best attribute is reaction and mind.
I feel that this is more actually body because it's kind of you are in the dark. You need to keep probably a light on the thing. You're hanging like Constantine is holding you.
I feel
And it does require quite a lot of core muscles here, and I think this is a body check.
I mean, having done similar things in reality because I am a gym nerd, the person that's being held is I think they're doing more of the dexterity reaction thing to try to
Because it's not gonna be a lot of body
yeah.
strength, core strength to be
Okay,
hanging.
okay. I see you want to use the higher attribute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I know.
They're just trying to scrape the points.
I'm just
Fine, fine. You can use reaction.
okay. I'm
But
gonna
yeah,
roll for mine.
the opposition
What's
level
my
is the
I
opposition
got
level is
it.
5 as well
five
for
as
that.
well? Okay. So I need to roll. I'm gonna roll 2.
Okay, so Schnerfel has rolled, and that's a success. So
Okay.
So
you
I'm
managed to.
solid. Whatever you do, I'm solid.
Okay. Okay. 2. 2. I'm gonna roll 2 for standard.
You fault. You fault.
Yes.
Okay, so the mask latches. you manage to fish it without any inconvenience, and you finally get it into your hand. It's relatively intact. It's a bit moldy, and you can
Gross.
see some spores are deposited into it. But probably you can wipe it with some rag, and it would be better than going down without it for sure.
Yeah. I'm going to go to Squishy McSquished face and gonna use that. I'm gonna use his clothes to wipe away at the gunk.
Okay, let's say that it's clean enough for you, for one of you to wear it. So who's actually gonna wear it?
I think it's got to be between.
I
Ned
fished it
and
out,
I.
not me.
I am not exactly a scavenger. I'm a stabber.
Nays, it sounds like
Oh,
it's gonna be you.
oh! I just
And look at
take a look
May.
at both of them, and I go
May
like,
looks at Nevin and be like, "I fished this out. I cleaned it. I'm not going down there."
yeah, well, okay, I guess if I do this, we just forget about the flamethrower, okay?
What?
What?
Just forget about the flamethrower thing when I set fire to the camp, yeah, and we can just move on from this.
I actually forgot that you did that.
Yep, never
But
mind. I
sure.
just take the take the mask.
I'll help lower you down, dude.
Thank you. So I just put the mask on, and
All
I
right.
close my eyes, and I try to listen to the spores going into me, and I go,
Well, you have this feeling that when you put the mask on, you feel that you are breathing some spores, but
right.
that's you got the short end of the, how do you say,
The short
The
straw.
stick.
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, you can go down, but it's maybe a couple of, no, probably 3 meters jump or something like that. Maybe you want to go with a.
I was gonna offer to help lower him down.
Yeah.
Also
I'm
to
thinking-
reduce noise.
Okay. All right. So
I was
you
about to
have-
grab a ladder, but okay.
Does anyone have a light to give me?
I hand him my flashlight.
Thank you.
okay. I think Constantine, you can easily help him down, and well, maybe he has to jump 2 meters, but that's fine. 6 feet, I guess, something like that.
Yeah, that's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. Okay, so you land on the lower floor. You have the light with you, so what do you do?
Well, I turn the light on first, and I'm checking for a big bear sleeping somewhere.
You check on the other side where you had the feeling that the breath was coming from, and there's a wall, a tiled wall, so
Yeah,
it's
I'm
not
going.
in this room.
Cool. So I just go to the cabinet, I guess, and I'll try to get the respirators.
Okay, well, you open the cabinets, and actually, yes, there are masks. Most of them seem fairly new. You find 5 of them. So it's not
Five in
enough
addition
for
to the one
everybody. It's not enough for everybody, but almost.
I'll just could I assess if they would know if I switched masks? Like,
I
do
would
they look
know.
the same?
Well, they are looking at you, so
We can
Oh.
see you.
We can see
it.
you, my dude.
Okay, well, I just take the masks and I go.
that's fine.
There's
Yeah.
only 5 here. Can I have a look around? Is there anything else in here that maybe could be helpful?
Well, there are some uniforms, like fireman uniform. What are you looking for specifically?
More
Stuff-
masks.
Yeah, anything that can work as a
Extinguishers.
respirator.
It looks more
um,
like
uh,
there's equipment to put out a fire mostly, but
oh, okay,
maybe.
so there's
Oh, you know
there's
what?
like
You would find some axes, maybe a couple of axes.
yeah,
Axes would work.
I would take an axe. And is there any cleaning equipment in there that I could use to actually really clean the mask that I'm wearing? Or
No, you don't see anything specific
they
here.
didn't have a
Probably.
pendant for
Well,
damn it.
clearly, this lower floor is bigger. There's a door that goes somewhere else. Maybe you can try to find some kind of cleaning closet. But at this point, you have like what? The flashlight, the 2 axes, 5 masks in your
You have
hand.
so many things
just-
in your hand.
I'm gonna try to okay. I'm gonna get back to my friends. I'm gonna give them the stuff. And I'm gonna
Okay.
tell them there's
Okay.
a door.
How do you do that exactly?
I was gonna say that like while he's down there, I think Maya and I could work together to get a ladder down so that he can come back up.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
just gonna say there should be ladders here.
All right.
If-
So you go away from the hole for a moment to go get the ladder. Yes.
One of us does.
Yeah.
While you're waiting for the ladder to come, you hear from the nearby room behind the wall something like.
Oh shit!
It's hard to be intimidated when I'm seeing the facial expressions you're making.
Do I recognize what kind of animal that would be?
It's not an animal.
Ooh.
It's much bigger
Cool.
than an animal.
Cool. I just start flipping the light like in SOS mode upstairs, going like, okay, hurry up.
The wall in front of you. You hear this gigantic blast, like somebody's punching through it with I don't know, a car.
Cool.
You see the tiles deforming in front of you and then basically exploding into this storm of ceramic that comes in your direction. Luckily, you have a mask on because one shard of the ceramic that it hits you in the face and basically goes through the plastic of the mask, but doesn't reach your eye. But you are thrown backwards and you fall against one of the closets. While upstairs, what you hear is just a big explosions downstairs, and the floor where you were standing starts to
Buckle?
deform and collapse. So you need to kind of back away because a part of the floor starts to fall down.
I'm gonna just say like I wouldn't have left to find the ladder because I'm not good at that stuff, and but like the instant I'm gonna notice it and Evan's in danger, I'm going to jump down into the hole and like hold my breath.
But wait, because what it feels like, it's like the building is collapsing. So it feels like this floor is collapsing into the lower floor. So that's the first impression you have.
As soon as
Are you
it
still
starts,
jumping into the part that is collapsing?
as soon as it starts, I'm like, not a bear, not a bear, and I throw the masks up for them to catch.
My
Okay, well,
character feels
one thing at a
that
time. One thing at a
prefer
time.
to
One thing at a
choose
time.
my way down than to simply fall.
I'm just
No.
gonna.
Sorry, guys.
If Mom tries to escape, that's fine, but I'm going to jump down in the hole. We're not leaving Nevin behind.
Okay, one thing at a time, because Nevin is throwing the masks up. So he's just doing like fuck, like this, throwing everything up, including
I
the
probably
actors.
had a ladder with me, and I was probably at the hole. Then I see the masks flying, and I drop the
Okay,
ladder and just
you see
try and
maybe
catch it.
2 masks coming up. The others are just on the ceiling somewhere. Like you throw them on the ceiling. The axes are, you made them fall because they are on your feet. And at the same time you're throwing this stuff up, Constantine is jumping down in the storm of ceramic
Okay.
and pieces. Like there's smoke, dust. You can't see very clearly what's happening.
Can I just, for the rule of cool, say I could like grab a mask on my way down, just because that
No.
would be really bad.
No, I don't think you can do that.
Do I
But
do I catch
we can
catch
do
the
a
two
check.
masks?
We can do a check, and I think this might be you would need an increment to do something as cool as that.
No.
Can I catch the two
tried.
masks?
But like, did he throw literally all of the masks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tried to.
Yeah, but only two came up, and now I'm
Okay,
trying to catch those two.
Well, I'm holding my breath, and I'm gonna try to grab anything that I can use as a mask when I get down. But my first priority is Nevin's safety.
Okay, so let's try a reaction roll, and I think this is a difficult action. So I give you a opposition level of 6.
Okay.
To grab the mask, I think you need an increment. Otherwise, you just manage to land without breaking your legs into the rubble.
Okay, let me just take a look.
By the way, the noise is becoming stronger. Like behind the curtain of dust and smoke, you can hear something gigantic has awakened, and it's like,
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Uh,
I'm pretty sure I heard that from above.
yeah, you heard
like-
it, and you're there with the ladders, like, what the fuck is happening?
And then do I see the two masks that get thrown up?
Yeah, and you also see the Constantine is trying to do like this, try to grab one.
Okay, so I need to roll.
While jumping.
My reaction is 4. Do I have to roll 2 or 3?
So
trying to-
if you roll 2, you obtain outcome with a cost. If you want to land without breaking anything, you need to roll 3. And if you want to do the increment and grab the mask, you need to roll 4. Remember that you can change these dice into Soma points. So if you spend Soma, you roll less, basically. Like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to grab the mask?
yeah.
I feel like if I hit the ground, I can still wait for like one to get thrown back down. I don't have to necessarily be hella
Okay.
cool. I can hold
Okay,
my
so
breath.
let's just try to land you without damage. Okay, so you have 3 gap points to fill. You
I
can
got it.
roll dice, spend Soma, or a mix of the two.
I rolled 3 dice. I got 6, 4, 6.
Okay, so in an incredible feat of athleticism, Constantine lands in front of you, and he puts himself between you and whatever this thing is. And now you both turn in his direction, and you can see it is this giant mass of. Let me describe it to you in a proper way. So it's a patchwork creature that is made up of the bodies of other awakened, and there's this giant cluster which is located more or less where his head would be, which has these offshoots that hold this amount, these flaps of flesh and limbs in place somehow. He's giant. He seems like it seems that his skin is very thick, and somehow under the layers of his skin, you can see some other thing moving, like he's somehow embedding other creatures within him. And Now, clearly, you can see that he's a bit confused by the smoke as well and the dust, but he's looking around and sniffing and grunting, and he will zero in you two very quickly.
I have my sword out and I'm pushing Nevin towards the ladder,
I
trying
just
to get him to go.
I turn to Constantine and I go, "Why would you go back down? That's so stupid. Go back up. That's useless. I've already breathed the stupid spores. I'm done. You can go."
Hey, Dumb and Dumber, just
Dumb.
just get up the ladder.
Okay,
You can
so
hear May
this is a good
screaming that.
point, Constantine.
Why is Nevin
You
arguing with me? He should go up the fucking ladder.
okay? Wait a second, Constantine. As soon as you're down, actually, not only you're breathing the dust and
I said I was
smoke,
holding my breath.
but I don't. How are you speaking exactly?
No, that was just me, Cobra, yelling at Nevin for being stupid. Or
I think
That
you're.
was OC.
I think you're
Out of
breathing.
character.
out of character.
I think you're breathing some spores, so I would mark somewhere 1 point of contamination.
That's fine. But I
Okay.
am attempting to hold my breath and I am shoving him and pointing. That is what I am
Okay.
doing.
May, I think that the ladder is not there yet. So
Not there
you
yet.
had
I'm
it
not-
in your hand, the floor collapsed. What are you gonna do?
The floor is collapsing. I'm still holding the ladder. I'm gonna put it down where I believe it's stable, and then I'm
Okay.
gonna look around to see where the two masks that were thrown up are.
Okay, well, you see them a bit further away, and probably the best thing you could do right now is just throw them the ladder and hope that they can somehow use it.
Yeah, I'm dropping the ladder.
Okay. Well, you hear something clanking next to you, and it's the ladder that May has just thrown down. It fell on the floor. It will probably take you one action to put it in any stable position. Meanwhile, this thing in front of you has finally seen you, and I think it's pointing to Nevin. The original one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going to be like it. I want to make it very clear that when I came down, I was trying to put myself between it and Nevin.
Okay,
Because Nevin is not a
then
fighter.
all right, fine. He looks at Nevin, but you are in the middle. So he just raises what looks like a giant arm and swings it in your direction. While he does that, basically he hits a piece of the wall behind him and he rips it away as he swings his giant fist towards your face. Now, I want you to do a defense check. The opposition level of this creature, which is it's called a juggernaut, is 5.
Okay, and I'm doing a what test?
You are doing. Tell me what you do, and then we decide how you roll.
Okay, so I'm a historical reenactor, and as someone who actually does historical European martial arts in real life, like a good chunk of what you're doing, you learn is like parry and then counter thrust. And so like he's swinging his arm at me, and I'm probably gonna try to do a like a rolling fade so that I'm like moving my torso back and like under the movement, and then putting myself in a position to stab the sword probably up into like the armpit area.
So pretty
whatever
much
the-
the classic Dark Soul move,
Sure, yes.
rolling and swiping. Okay. All right. I think this is a reaction test.
Okay.
So reaction check.
So my
he has
reaction is
opposition level
4.
5. Opposition level 5. I need to point out one thing.
Mhm.
You cannot hurt this thing with normal weapons unless you use increments to inflict wounds.
Oh, I've been saving my soma for just this.
Okay.
For fights.
To die against the boss that you cannot kill.
Come.
Yeah.
So Okay. I have a reaction of 4. How much do I need?
Yeah, the opposition level is 5, so you would need 1 for an outcome with a cost, 2 for the standard one, and 3 for the increment. So you need
I'm
to
gonna do
fill
3
out
to kick
3
its
points.
ass.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
I'm gonna use 3 soma to
Okay.
whoop it.
You were completely full. What's your total amount? I don't remember.
11 soma total.
Okay. All right. So not only you you managed to roll away from his fist, which hits a pile of rubble behind you, pulverizing it, but you manage also to turn around like a proper sword fighter and slash your katana, if I remember correctly, at his back, under his armpit or wherever it is, and find one patch of soft flesh where the blade actually can enter. You inflict 1 wound to the juggernaut. He seems surprised and taken aback, and he takes actually a step back, and you can all hear a very high pitched scream coming from the thing in the middle of his body, like. Nevin, what do you do?
Oh boy! So there's a ladder downstairs now, right? But it's just not steady enough.
It's just on the floor.
Yeah, you just need to do one action to set it up.
Yeah. I think. Let me check one thing.
Meanwhile,
Um,
May is on the top floor, just casually walking towards the 2 respirators and picking them up.
So wait, where are the 3 others? The 3 other masks? Where are they?
When you threw them up, not all went to the upper floor. 3 of them, you just threw them on the ceiling of the lower floor, so they're somewhere in the rubble.
Shit.
That's why you don't just throw shit.
I'm not okay. I'm not. I'm gonna try to steady the ladder.
Okay,
Yeah.
it will take you. It will take you the whole exchange to do that.
Is this the same scene as the one when before we entered the building, or is this a new scene?
It is the same scene. Yeah.
Damn it! Sure, I'll steady the ladder.
Okay. You've been using 2 gifts for nothing, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you managed to steady the ladder, even though I could actually make you test your resolve in doing this.
Try me.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is a determination check, and the opposition level is 5. The thing is terrifying, and you know that if you don't steady that ladder, it will. I mean, you don't know how good Constantine is and how much can he really fight against this thing, but you definitely don't have any hope.
Yep. Hopeless defines me. So I'll just so what's the opposition level? 5?
5. Yes.
So I start at 3. I don't think I have. Let me check. I mean, I have no matter the price and who has to pay it, I will survive. But that's pretty mainstream. Yeah. Okay. I'll just spend 2 soma for this.
Okay, then you do with the coast, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you go to 5 soma, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You managed to steady the ladder. Let me think of the coast. You think that it might become unstable again after 1 person is up.
Okay. Okay.
All right. May, you go just to pick up the.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Constantine. Actually, you were defending before, so now is your time for one action from your part.
Okay. So it sounds like at this point I'm kind of behind it, but you said that it kind of like got upset. Did it turn to face me?
No, he hasn't turned yet. I think he doesn't understand exactly. He's kind of slow in all senses. He couldn't really understand what happened to his fist, why he didn't attach to it to your face. So I don't think he knows exactly. Like he just felt this pain under his armpit or whatever that thing is, and he doesn't understand that you're behind him.
Okay, it sounded like its brain or whatever, the thing that like is in the front. Would I just
Well, you
wanna know
feel
how
that
to
this
make it
you
more
feel that this
describing
cluster
that.
in the beginning, in the center, is what's holding it together, because the rest are these all mangled corpses and pieces of various awakened, kept together by this thing.
Okay, so I'm kind of in order to do an armpit stab, I would be off the line to like if it's a plus sign, I'd be perpendicular to it. So in that case, what I'm going to try to do is take this moment while it's stunned and do a J hook around into that cluster in the front of its face.
Okay,
And,
sounds like a difficult action, but I
but
think
I'm
it would
also
be.
going to try to use my gift tip and edge, which gives me one advantage die. It says on a position check. I'm not sure if this counts.
Yeah, I think it would count.
Okay.
So it's the same roll as before. You would need, let me think, 7 for the increment, but one of them is an advantage die. You start from.
I start from 4.
Yeah, are you kind of rolling under his arm, or are you just putting all your?
So
you're not in position, so I think this would be a reaction anyway.
Well, that's why I'm trying to say it's like it's hard to explain this stuff with but like in fencing and sword fighting terms, like I'm off their line to the perpendicular, so I'm like facing the shoulder. So he had moved his arm, and I went underneath the arm.
Yeah, I understand. Okay.
And so I could like if I would do a lateral step to like kind of a 45 degree to get in line with the cluster in the front. So it's not super out of the way, but it is like putting me more in danger to get to the front.
Okay, I think it's the same roll as before. In this case, you have one advantage die, which means that basically that one cannot fail, but it can lower your final outcome. So what I would suggest here is that you roll the advantage die as the first one, and then you either roll 2 dice or spend 2 soma to cover the other 2. And in most cases, you will succeed unless you get a 1 on the advantage die. But you need to, like, if you roll more than 1 die, you need to roll them all together.
Okay, I'm going to use the soma for the rest.
Okay.
But I'm going to do one. It is like 1 AD, just making sure. Okay, I rolled a 2, but I didn't fail.
Yeah, you didn't fail, so it means that you actually have an increment to spend, and in this case, you can tell me what happens. The blade probably enters this cluster of meat and flesh and whatever it is.
So for the increment, I'm going to be driving the tip in, and while putting it in, I'm also doing a wrist turn to like. Yeah. So imagine the flat blade is going in horizontal, and I'm turning it to a vertical. So it's gouging more than it would if it just simply entered.
Okay, well, the creature is completely shocked by this additional blow that has been inflicted on his marcellent body. He shrieks again, very loud. Nevin, you have the opportunity to go to the upper floor now.
I mean, I have a descriptor saying no matter the price and who has to pay it, I will survive. So I don't think I have much of a choice here. I'm just gonna grab the ladder.
All right, so you go to the upper floor, and as a cost for the previous action, while you stumble to safety, your foot hits the ladder, which falls again on the ground. Now you are downstairs by yourself, Konstantin, and this thing is getting really angry, and he starts swinging around and breaking all the supporting pillars he finds around. So it's getting very dangerous now.
I think I'm kind of effed because I don't think I can disengage from him long enough to put that ladder up.
Well,
You're not wrong.
okay. So he will try to hit you now. And you need to do a defense check, and opposition level is still 5. So you can just try to avoid this instead of trying to also wound him. Or you can try to wound him, but then you need the increment.
So it's 3 to do the increment? If I'm doing, because it's obviously a reaction, it's 7.
Yeah. It would be 3 to do the increment and just 1 to dodge with a cost, or 2 without a cost.
Okay, I'm gonna realizing that I am super boned right now, because the ladder is down, and it's gonna take. It's not easy to just set up a ladder and then climb it. I'm going to go for the increment to cause even more damage, because if I can even so much as it blind this thing long enough to disengage, I'm gonna have to do the damage for it. So I'm gonna spend 3 soma in order to I guess
Okay.
what I'm trying to do, my sword's already in it. I'm going to try to rip it across to try to cause even more harm to the cluster while removing the sword.
Okay, I think you managed to do that. He's completely confused, he doesn't know where you are. He doesn't know where this pain comes from. He didn't even know he could be hurt. But clearly you are doing something right with that sword. So from upstairs, you feel the whole building rumbling. Clearly this battle that is going on underground is shaking the foundation of the whole building. And Konstantin is heroically surviving this, but he probably won't be able to continue by himself. You're running out of soma. I think you have 3 left.
Yeah, I'm keeping track. I have 3 left.
Yeah.
Do you think that he's distracted enough now that I can disengage without immediately getting targeted?
I think that you inflicted enough damages that he steps back a couple of times, and he goes in the room where he was before, and he's crouching, and you think he's trying to understand what to do next, because clearly he has in front of him an enemy he doesn't understand.
Okay, I'm a big damn hero, but I'm not that big damn hero. I'm gonna instantly try to, as soon as he disengages from me, I'm gonna grab that ladder, try to set it up, and get back upstairs as quickly as I can.
Just a second. May, are you doing something?
As soon as Nevin is up, I'm gonna look into the hole, and if possible, try and catch the ladder that Konstantin is trying to set up to help him.
With the same marauder you were using before?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that would be a reaction roll.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it's in the middle of the battle that is going downstairs. I would say it's difficult. So I would say it's a 6.
Okay, 6 for me.
You still have 8 soma, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I still have 8 soma. 6. Oh, 6 I
I'm
have
So
3.
waiting for.
you would start from 4, and
Yeah, 4. I
yeah,
need 7. I need 3. 3
two for the outcome, the standard
to
outcome.
be
Yeah.
able to catch and help Constantine. Okay. Okay, I'll
I'm fully expecting
use.
this to fail and drop the thing again.
Yeah, I know. Uh, you know what? What the hell? Let's roll this. Should I?
You have so
Yeah.
much summer though.
Yeah, fine. Okay, I'll just use the soma. Yeah, it's fine. I'll have 5 soma left.
Okay. So somehow in the middle of the dust and the rubbles, you see that May is coming through the hole. Probably Nevin is helping her, holding her. She uses the rod to pick up the ladder, and magically, she manages to raise it up, and the ladder opens. And when she puts it down on the floor, it lands on a stable surface, which is half a miracle. So the ladder is up.
Okay, yeah, I'm booking it out of there. I'm not gonna take the time to let the other guy realize how to fight me again.
Okay, so you go up the ladder as fast as you can. And meanwhile, with the corner of your eye, you can see that the Juggernaut is basically went to the other room just to sprint now in the direction of where the ladder was a second ago. Basically, he's running through the whole pile of rubble. He just like an avalanche. He takes down the ladder, crashes everything, the metal cabinets, closets that you were exploring before, and basically pierces through the other side of the room. You're now on very unstable ground
Oh shit.
on the upper floor. You can feel that the whole building might collapse in a moment. So everything is shaking like it was an earthquake,
Uh-huh.
and I assume you all try to get out of the building.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I vote we run and then I run.
Yep.
All
I'm
right.
still I'm still holding the 2 masks. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have 2 masks plus the one that Nevin has on his face. So 3 masks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm taking
all,
that away. I don't want to breathe that if I can
all
help
in
it.
all. I think you were breathing enough spores to get 1 point of contagion as well inside that
Yeah.
mask. All right. So you're running. You know you're late. You know that the other guys are waiting you with the train. I think that at this point, the previous pack of wanderers seem a very mild threat compared to this guy. So you kind of speed it through them, and even though they notice, some of them start following you, but you're running really fast at this point. Like it's adrenaline, it's fear, is the necessity to get to the train as fast as possible because you know that you spend more time than you should have. Um, as soon as the guys see you in the distance running towards the train, they start the engine, and behind you, very slowly, there's a growing wave of wanderers that are they're coming from all sides of town and side streets to follow the source of this noise that you're making right now. But one way or the other, you manage to jump on the train that's still moving fairly slowly. You have the heart in your throat, and of course, struggling to catch your breath. You look back. There's this horde behind you that's getting bigger. You don't see the Juggernaut because it's probably trapped somewhere underground. Um, and finally, you manage to gain some momentum, and the train is headed for the next stop. You catch up with the others, tell what's happening, tell why it took so long. They're amazed by the story.
Also, tell them that we didn't end up with as many masks as we could because Nevin just fucking threw them in the air like an idiot.
Well,
Hey,
they're not.
I
They're not.
was acting under stress, so
Yeah, they're not completely
I'm-
disappointed because 3 masks is better than 0, and you can figure out if the
and and I'm gonna keep Christina away from Constantine for a bit because I'm gonna make Constantine change clothes and decontaminate.
yeah, of course.
yeah, okay.
They mentioned the fact that maybe one of the carriage, the carriage where you're in, might be a bit dangerous when you go through the Crimson Zone if not everybody has a mask. But there's a problem for the future you. After a few hours, it's more or less twilight. You finally see this great Crimson Zone that surrounds Copper appearing in front of you. Uh, you gaze with apprehension at this majestic work done by the Blight. And then on the side, you hear horses, and you focus your attention in that direction. And what you see, you can't believe your eyes. Because looking outside the windows, you see a small group of horsemen, and one of the riders is holding a small child, and you notice clearly that it's Kisha. She's been attracted by the sound of the train, and you see turning her gaze towards you. Um, it's only a moment, and you don't know if she really sees you or she's just looking at the train. Um, but you have the feeling that there is this little glimpse of recognition in her eyes, and a smile finally brightens her tear-streaked face before she looks away. You know now that there is hope and that you can do this. And here we wrap up the first part of Railway. We hope
Oh,
to offer the following part of this campaign in the crowdfunding campaign we'll have later on. But this is the end of the quick start scenario. Guys, I hope you liked it. And I don't know if everything went as you were planning,
I,
but I
Totally.
will.
I have a daughter now.
Yeah. Do you have any
yeah.
final thought? Like, let's close like this. What is each of your character thinking when you see Kisha? Constantine, you want to start?
I'm going to save you.
Okay. May?
Finally, we're not too late. We can still save her.
Nevin?
I brewed freaking spores for this.
All right. Nevin wraps up this scenario in the most epic way we could imagine. Thank you guys for playing this with me, and hopefully, whoever sees this video will also be interested in the campaign. There will be more information on our Discord, on our website, on our social media. Just be in touch, and we'll tell you everything about it as soon as we know. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Snerful. Thank you, Phoenix Frights, and thank you, Nazel Eternal.
Nice.
Thank you, whoever followed. Bye. You guys stay online, and I'll end the broadcast now.